Hello, hi everyone. Good time of the day, whatever you're watching from, wherever you're viewing this video from. My name is Moses, and as you have seen my previous video, for those who watched, thank you. It was talking about inspiration and encouragement and all of those beautiful things that you need to know as a young man. And I really like approaching young people, or like talking to young people like me. I'm 18, and of course, I'm talking to the 18s, and below, or 18s and above, whichever age you are, as long as you find this nice for you, it's an amazing. Now today I want to talk about knowledge, a topic that most people have talked about. Everyone talks about knowledge. Now what's knowledge? I won't say that, but knowledge is power. Francis Bacon says that knowledge is power, but unfortunately this is not relevant for today. Some of us nowadays, some will say, I don't need to know that, or I don't need to know this. Okay, we are overloading our brain with useless informations. That's what I can say. And what good, somebody said, now I was engaging some people into some talks about analogies. I was looking for statistics and how I can bring that to the table. I can tell you that. Now, somebody asked a question: what good are algebra and chemistry and history going to do with me, are going to do me when I am working with cells? That's a nice question indeed. I have heard all these arguments against learning, and most of them reduce to one: too much learning overtaxes the brain. Two, certain kinds of knowledge are irrelevant. Now, the first argument is untrue. Okay, the first argument is untrue. The second argument mistakenly implies that we now only need to learn only the materials that we will actually maybe use in our jobs, or use in our lives, or use in a certain area or certain of things. Hey, let me start by saying neither of the above two arguments is right. Before I refute them, I want to point out that no one knows until you know. No one knows until you know. Okay? And no one knows until you want to know. We have a lot of things that may have come in our way. You have a couple of things that may have referred to our ways and seen that, but no one knows until you want to know. You can't keep on saying that you have known but you don't know. Okay? And so ignorance comes in. Ignorance is when you know something and you don't want to know. Okay? First, back to our topic. First, we cannot overload our brain. Okay? We can't overload our brains. That is something that cannot happen. This is because now, let me say, a test that was carried out by Ben Carson, one of the best surgeons in the world, says that in our brain, according to Ben Carson, our brains has 14 billion cells. If used to the maximum, this human brain is like a computer inside our head. Okay? Which could contain all the information of humanity from the time you are born to the time you are dying. And it will never say, hey, it's enough. It will not say, it will not tell you that, hey, I'm done, I'm full, delete some. No. It will keep all of the knowledge that you have seen on your way from a child, from the moment you started speaking up to the moment you're going to die. Now, that is like, that's our brain. They're like computers. All knowledge is important, a fact that people don't want to hear. Some people don't want to hear. All knowledge is important, and all knowledge is something that we need to know. Okay? Like one wonderful thing about knowledge, or about learning, is that knowledge not only translates from one area to another, but it's also a venue. Okay, it's also a venue that leads to understanding and insight. I am convinced that knowledge is so good. Knowledge has its own powers, and I will have those 4 powers. Okay, and knowledge is the power to one thing that I love most, is to overcome the past. In the past, you might have talked about things. In the past, you might have gone through a lot of things because you do not have knowledge. And this happens to young people. Maybe in primary you do not have enough knowledge about sexuality. Maybe in primary you do not have enough knowledge. The teachers used to tell you, don't go too far, but they never told you how far is too far. They told you, don't use this, don't use that, but they were talking in parables. Now in secondary school, when you get to secondary school, things start changing. They tell you things like, don't be cheated. If somebody has sex with you, you will get pregnant. See, you have overcome the past. Why? Because you have knowledge, enough knowledge to change our own situations. If you have knowledge, you can change your own situation. Can you imagine finding yourself in a place where everyone is not, let me say, not that or let me use the word that I hate using, illiterate. And so when someone is illiterate, does not know one point or another. Now, when you go there and you're literate, you can be able to read, you can be able to interpret the kind of language. Because of your knowledge, you will get a job and you will change your situation. That is what knowledge can do. The third thing, to fight new obstacles. Now, when you grow up, obstacles keep on coming on your way. Okay, you keep on saying this today, tomorrow you're saying that, and those are obstacles. But let me tell you, obstacles in other terms, it means failure. So failure, those obstacles you pass on your way to success. So if obstacles are there and you have knowledge, it brings that to the table and say, hey, this knowledge, this part of my knowledge says I should do this, I should do that when this comes up, and you will definitely become successful. Now, an example of this, I can give an example of this is like let me say, the pregnancies that we're having, the early pregnancies that we're experiencing in our country right now. Okay, those are obstacles. There are new obstacles. But girls will give an excuse of, yeah, I needed this, I needed that, so I had to go in, I had to give in, or maybe they say it was a mistake. My friend, there's nothing like a mistake. If you agree, you can know if you're a believer, you can read the Bible, that you will understand the verse that says, 2 or 3 cannot work together unless there's an agreement. So my friend, there's nothing like a mistake. The last one, to make better decisions. If you have knowledge, you can make better decisions in your life. But if you don't have knowledge, you just become like a spoiled computer. We throw them in the trash, then it's gone like that. What are these? Making better decisions. Early pregnancy, we go through a lot, and we cannot afford some of the things. But if those decisions, if you are knowledgeable, you have the knowledge, you can pass over them, you can go over them, and you can be a winner. Furthermore, knowledge makes people special. It makes somebody feel so special because you have knowledge. It makes you feel so good when you have knowledge and you're talking about some other things. Knowledge is very important to some people. Knowledge is very important to us all. It makes you special. Imagine finding a place you know something, but no one else knows that. Like for example, maybe you're an instrumentalist and maybe you know how to play drums. Of course, I do know how to play drums and it's sweet. So maybe you know how to play drums, you know how to play the guitar, you know how to play the piano very well. You go somewhere, you find there's a drummer, there's a guitarist, but you don't have a pianist. You feel so good, you feel so special. As young people, let us embrace knowledge. Without knowledge, we are dead. My history teacher back in secondary school, he was called Mr. Otieno. He used to say many people go to school to get money in future, but not to acquire knowledge in life. Now you are going to school because you want to better your future. You're not going to school because you want to know. You want to know what is it that you don't know, and that is wrong. And I think he is right. Sometimes I think he's right. Because you go to school and say like, hey, go to school, get a certificate, so that when you go out to an office to look for a job, you are illiterate enough, but you don't go to school to look for a job. We often care about our locality, not other localities. Now, where we live, the environment that we are in, our habitation, that's where we care about most. We are always just there. We don't want to think away. They say thinking outside the box. Don't want to think outside the box. Okay, let me tell you something. What you need to know is determined by what a group or you intend to influence. What you need to know is determined by the group you intend to influence. Okay, and I have some 3 groups that may help you. If your intentions is only to influence the people around you or in your house where you live, then you will only need to know about those things they like, those things that are important to those people. That's one. 2. If you intend to influence this in your neighborhood, you have to broaden your knowledge ongoing. You not just know your house, but you know the people who are around you, know the people who are in your neighborhood, you know what they want, know what they need in their lives, and it will be amazing. So, what is it that you want to know? What is it that you want to get? Where do you want to be in the future? 3. If you intend for your life to make a difference in your city, then you just have to know things that are about your city. And how will you know that? You have to broaden. You have to know some areas. You have to know some localities. How can you do so if you don't know what is going on outside there? How can you do so if you don't know what is it that your city requires at that moment? So you have to know all of those things. And if you want to help shape the world, now somebody said, don't ask about world, don't ask the world what you, don't ask what the world can do for you. Ask what you can do to the world. Don't ask what your nation can do for you. Ask what can you do to the nation. Okay, so if you want to learn about that, you have to broaden your knowledge about your country, about the world, trending things. So people, especially young people, need to recognize that there is every reason to be proud of their ethnic heritage. Okay, that there is no such thing as an inferior race or group. They also need to realize that regardless of their backgrounds, everyone forms part of the human family. If we want to make our lives count for the better, I think we should have knowledge. We should acquire every bit of knowledge that we find on our way. I remember one day someone asked me, why do I have to read other novels apart from the set text that I saw now in our schools? If you are a Kenyan, I'm a Kenyan, so we have set books, and then they set us exams. They have to have written the novel. And someone was like, hey, why should I read another book when I have this? And I was like, don't read a book because you're going to do it. Read a book first because you want to acquire knowledge. Okay, how do you know? Sometimes life is so ironic, or it's very ironic, the irony of life. If you don't read as often as possible, you will lack what to say as often as possible. And that's the response I gave. So knowledge makes us valuable when we have knowledge that other people do not readily have. Somebody needs us. Okay? Some of us are really affected by what other people say about us than what we say about ourselves. Now, this is not to say that unfairness or racism or sexuality do not exist in our society. It does. But it is to say that if individuals who are disadvantaged by these unpleasant facts of life can acquire the kind of knowledge that makes them valuable, they certainly will have a significant advantage when it comes to realizing or argumenting their opportunities. So knowledge is as important as it should be in our lives. We need knowledge before we go and any other place. Before we need something, we need knowledge. Knowledge is power, knowledge is valuable, knowledge is everything that we need in our lives. Okay, so like when you have knowledge, it gives us an ability to know a lot of things. And knowledge comes from the word know. Knowledge can also be negative if you don't use it the right way. I became the best student in English, and then I wanted everyone to know how knowledgeable I was. Maybe I was just trying to show off, but I realized that there are many people who knew more than I did. So sometimes you can put yourself above the thing that you need, but you have to humble yourself. Be humble. Many people think you don't know, but you know. Your ignorance, you know. Okay, you know, if we make every attempt to increase our knowledge in order to use it on human good, it will make a difference in us and in our world. Remember, everyone who knows how to read but has it in his power to magnify himself. Everyone who knows how to read has it in his power to magnify himself. But to magnify it can be to enrich yourself, but to make sure that you are on yourself or multiply your knowledge, ways in which he is to make his life fully significant and interesting. Knowledge is power, and knowledge is something that we need in our life. Without knowledge, we are dead. Without knowledge, there's nothing we can do in this world. So today, I want to tell you that knowledge is significant in our life. Without knowledge, you can't change the world. Okay? Now, I'm finishing. To those who love me, who have seen this is valuable to yourself, please subscribe. It's down there, and click there on the subscription button, subscribe, like my video, and share. It's amazing. For those who have done this, for those who have hit my videos, my friend, bye, have a good time, God bless you. But for those who are still lagging behind, my friend, shut up. Now today, I want to tell those people who think they know better, who think they are better off than others. Let me tell you, today's proverb is, no matter how far a man aims when peeing, the last drop is always at his feet. Have yourself a lovely day. I love you. Thank you.